my home group. Okay, but that's not the only thing that I do. Okay, I don't know if that gentleman was here earlier and whatnot, but he was talking about stuff, flipping, rentals, sales, all those things. I do it all. I've done it all. I used to be a loan officer back in the days, so I understand all those things. Bunch of different ways that you can go about and find different values and bargains and things that are out there. Okay, ultimately, your sales agents, right? Number one, want to make commissions, right? Isn't that ultimately what we're here to do? Is to make some commissions, make some sales.
Yep.
Okay. Now, how long have you guys? You're brand new. How long have you been in the business?
I was a realtor in North Carolina for 15 years.
Okay, so you've
and
seen.
I was also an investor.
Yep.
All that stuff.
So like the cycle goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. People will tell you, oh, that everything's overpriced and it's never gonna, it's at the height of the market and this, that, and the other. Right now, it might be a little bit overpriced in certain areas, but there are reasons what make it overpriced. Okay, we have a little bit of low inventory right now. And for whatever reason, the inventory has been low, and everybody wants to buy. Okay. One of the things that creates that is we're the next state over from California. Okay, California, big state. California, New York, Illinois, Florida, a lot of money there, right? What happens there is the real estate prices shoot through the roof to where you want to buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in the Bay Area, $1.5 million. Okay, you sell it though, and this is what I have right now. I got a person who we just took over management for. They just bought 5 houses here with their 1.5 million for about 2.5 million each. So now they've got the 5 houses here. They're paid for them here. We were just looking at the numbers. We're just going like, if they pay us, they do this, this, and this, they're going to pay about $9,000 a month positive in their with their retirement, with their house paid off in Sun City Grand, and an extra $9,000 a month coming in. And when they have repairs and this, that, and the other that happen, not going to matter, because they've got that money coming over and over and over again. Okay, so that's what's creating the market. That's what's creating the overinflated values that we see. They're still not that overinflated. They're still doable. There's a second part of why they're doable. Okay, interest rates. Okay, so keep this in mind. Interest rates are historically low right now. I mean, they're ridiculously low. And so when you couple low interest rates with not as much inventory, with a lot of demand, price of real estate goes up. Okay, so that's just the basic of the market. So let's call it an overpriced market to a certain extent, because if you go out to the internet, you go to the MLS, you're gonna see a lot of stuff, and the values are creeping up compared to where they were a year ago. And a lot of people, especially investors, are like, I don't know if I want to pay that price per dollar and whatnot. So there are other ways to find different avenues for overpriced real estate. Okay. All right. So let's get into this a little bit. All right. A couple things that you need to know: contemplate, evaluate, relate, initiate. All right. Think about it. Evaluate it. All right. Make it relatable. All right. One of the things they talked about before in the mastermind was how do you connect and how do you set yourself apart. Okay. Especially when you're brand new. Right. One thing I will add in just for you, especially find a mentor or somebody here in my home group that has a lot of experience. They'll open up their playbook and tell you everything they know. Okay. Me, I'm an open book. I'll tell you everything I know. Whatever. Just stop me and go, hey, Jason, can I get 10 minutes? Sure. What do you want to know? They'll tell you. You got a lot of people here that will help you with that. Okay. But one of the other things that you can do is you can always relate to people. All right. So whatever you're good at, whatever you can do, just be relatable, okay? Find that level and relate. So that's what I want to talk about is relate to them, okay? And then don't be afraid to initiate, all right? So one of the things that will happen is when you're trying to find deals, you want to be able to go and ask for it. Right? So some people talk about asking for the business and whatnot. I'm talking more of I'm out there, I'm looking around, there's a phone number, call it, okay? Call it, initiate a conversation. Hey, I'm Camden.
Yeah.
Camden. I'm Camden. I saw your ad for your house for sale. How much are you asking for it? Okay, great. Would you be willing to take this? I have a few buyers. Whether you do or don't, tell them you have a few buyers, right? Because technically you do have a few buyers. You work for my home group. You technically work for the broker. So the brokerage represents 2,600 agents They have all buyers. So technically you do have a few buyers, okay? Got a few buyers. Would you be willing to take this? Initiate the conversation. Ask them, okay? Always ask, can I get a little bit off of it? One of the things about finding deals off market and whatnot when you find them is those people generally don't have an agent representing them. So think about it this way. Whenever someone sells a piece of real estate, a commission is usually going to be 6%, right? Maybe 5, maybe 4, but 6%. So of 100% value, they're only ever really going to see 94% of that. It's usually 3 and 3. Point is if you don't have a sales agent, you have a little wiggle room to come down a little bit because you don't have somebody representing their side. Okay, so it's just something. It's the psychology of all of it. A lot of times people are out there and they don't want to use us because they think, oh, you know, the agents cost too much. They don't realize how much we do for them. That's fine, but that's something that you as an agent, it's always constantly trying to evaluate. What can I do to get through to this person? What can I do to make them sell? Because whenever anyone puts something out there, they want to sell. They're not putting it out there because, you know, they're just, you know, trying to find a good time. They want to sell. The question is what's that price that they're willing to sell for? Because as you go through this, you're gonna see your buyers and whatnot. Your buyers, every buyer's the same. They all want to get a deal. Okay, we all want to get a deal, right? Whether it's a good deal, a bad deal, whatever, they just want a deal. Generally a good deal, but it's trying to find, hey, can you shave? If you find a deal, can you shave $5,000 for them to make it? Hey, I got you a bargain on it, $10,000, whatever it may be. It's always playing to that emotion of it. Okay. Ultimately, you want to get them a good deal. Evaluate the property for them. As you learn this, you start to go, okay, this is a good deal. This is a bad deal. All right. One thing that I would do is look at different houses that are for sale, and then take a look at how much they will rent for. So you can kind of get an idea what kind of return can they get on that. Okay? Because a lot of times I focus on that. Okay, that's what I do. Is a lot to do with investment properties. Okay, there's a lot of buyers out there who are one investment or property away from becoming an investor, and they don't even know it. Okay, but time and time again, real estate is proven as a great investment vehicle. So not only are you a real estate sales agent, you are also an agent that has a license that allows you to sell an investment vehicle. Okay, everything else that you sell an investment vehicle with usually requires some sort of license from the SEC or whatnot. Okay, the Securities and Exchange Commission. Real estate doesn't do that. Real estate is just strictly your real estate license. You can sell here in Arizona. You can sell commercial. You can sell investment. You can sell revenue. You can do it all with one license. So it's great. So it's just learning to add those different things to the tool. All right. So how do I find a deal that makes sense? Okay. Now, if I'm selling residential real estate to an end buyer. An end buyer is someone who's moving in there, okay? My sister wants to buy a house. I'm selling the house to her, okay? She's not going to care about, what kind of return can I get on it or anything else. She's going to care about the price. Is it in the location that I want? Is it the condition I want, okay? Does it require any maintenance? The last two she won't care about because she's going to live in the house, okay? But if all of a sudden my sister is like, hey, I notice you have a lot of rental units. I want to buy a rental unit, okay? The next two things become important. How much are the monthly costs and how much income is it going to make, okay? Because when you look at that, a rental is it's very simple. It's what's my rents? That's my income. What's my gross rents, okay? If I'm buying an apartment complex, I might have a Coke machine. I might have a laundry facility, something like some more income. But if it's just strictly, it's the house next door, and Joe wants to sell me his house, how much can I get for renting it? Okay, that's my income. I start there. Now, if I'm going to buy it cash, then I don't have a mortgage, cool. But I still might have landscaping, things like that. I've got some little monthly costs. If I'm going to have a mortgage, then I'm going to put my cash down, I'm going to have a mortgage. How much of that monthly cost am I going to incur? If you got units, okay, so that's a single family residence, all right? Once I go to a duplex, all right, duplex is 2 units, 1 property. Generally, they will share a water meter, and the water meter is generally taken care of by the landlord. So you got to add in that water, garbage, and sewer. You always have the tenants take care of power and gas. That's them using it. But you have that. It's another income. It's another cost that you'll bill in. All right. And then maintenance right here. Maintenance becomes huge. Okay. Whenever we're talking about investment property and everything, does it have a lot of deferred maintenance? And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to walk through the house. You don't have to be a home inspector. Good if you get one, but you can look through and you can go, the roof looks like it's kind of bad. The water heater looks old. I might have to upgrade this. Or you walk through, maybe it's a new build. You're like, everything's pristine. It's brand new. It's ready to go. I shouldn't anticipate anything like that. Okay? But you'll go through and you can start to look at those things. And again, what I would say is generally for you, just start to look at a couple houses on the MLS and start going, this house, look at stuff, do a search, and search for single family houses under 150,000. And just look at it and go, what am I coming up with? And generally, if you go under 150,000 now, you're probably going to find houses that need a lot of work. Okay? But that's okay. Because, again, this business is all about trying to evaluate. Does this make sense? Okay? So look for something that's going to make sense and go, okay, well, that might work. Or, no, this thing's a total teardown. Can't work. Okay? All right. Now, let's talk about how much and where is it at. All right? So when you talk about your price and whatever in location, very important to look at square footage. How much square footage is it? Okay? When you evaluate a house and your buyers are looking, a lot of times 3-bedroom, 2-bath, do they want to be above 1,200 square foot? Usually 1,200, below 1,200 is a pretty small house. Okay? You get to 1,200, that's your starting point. All right? How big is the lot size? All right? What am I looking for in that lot size? Is it in an area where it's a new build, so the lot size is a little smaller? Do I get a little bit more with it with a corner lot? Look for something like that. If you're looking for investment property, then you'd be looking for how many units does it have? 2, 3, 4, 10, whatever. Can you add more to it? Okay, how many bedrooms are in it? Now let me get on investment property real quick with regards to numbers of bedrooms and bathrooms in investment property. If you ever come across a deal where somebody tells you, I have 24 units and it's $10,000 a door, and so the numbers just sound off the chart. All right. First thing you need to find out is, are they 2-bedroom units, 1-bedroom units, or are they efficiency units? If someone tells you that it's 24 units efficiency, leave. Run as fast as you can. Okay, because an efficiency unit is a studio, right? Studio units, efficiency units, have the most amount of turnover. Okay, think about it. Anybody that can afford a 2-bedroom apartment can afford a studio. They're in the 2-bedroom apartment for a reason. They're in the 1-bedroom apartment for a reason. The person in the studio is in that studio for a reason, and it's usually because of cash flow. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with people renting them out or anything. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those people. What I am telling you, though, is statistically speaking, those have the highest turnover. Okay? So when I start looking at, let's say I'm buying my first rental, or I'm talking to somebody about it, in general, what you're looking for, and remember, if an investment property goes bad, they're going to blame you. All right? It's not your fault, but they're going to blame you. All right? If it goes well, they're going to praise you, and you have a much better chance of them telling somebody else if they're praising you than if it's going bad. All right? So if it's studios, trust me. Tell your client, you might not want to buy rental property with efficiency units. Okay, for the most part, in general. Every now and again, there's an outlier, but for the most part, stay away because of that high turnover. 1-bedrooms have have less turnover, but still higher. If you can always find investment properties with minimum of 2 bedrooms, you got a much better chance of people staying. Okay, because think about it. This stuff is all basic logic. If you have somebody who's getting 2 bedrooms, a lot of times they might have a kid. They might have a roommate. However it may be, there's more in there. Now, you don't want them to have like 15 kids in a 2-bedroom, but they're looking for a little bit more stability. Okay? Now, you can't ever discriminate against anybody who's applying for units, but you can think logically, going like, what might make much more sense for me? Okay, a bunch of studio units or maybe a bunch of 2-bedroom units. All right? So think about something like that. All right? If there's any room to add on to a property, that always brings extra value for you. Depending on, no matter whether it's a single-family home or a apartment complex, whatever, extra room to add on can always add some more value, and it's always something that you can resell too. Okay, In real estate, we talk about value being found. Value's found when you buy, not when you sell. Okay? You make your money when you buy, not when you sell. So you always want to buy at a good time. And you want to buy with extra things that you can add on to the property in value. They don't always have to be a room or anything like that. It's just, can I add some value to it? Okay? So always think in terms of that. Location. Location is very simple. It's very straightforward. City, zoning, amenities, things like that you can find. Always thinking about, is it a good location? All right? As you go through and you start to talk to more people about whether it's single family homes, whatever, it's always think about that location, okay? And when you go and drive, or let's say you go on a showing with someone and you're showing them the house, okay? A lot of times, if you're on a show and tour, you won't have that opportunity. But if you're going the first time to show a house and whatnot, drive the neighborhood, see what you can find around there. See some selling points or some points that are like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to do you a favor and tell you there's a junkyard that's a block over, and it's causing a little riffraff there and whatnot, and this is maybe not the prime location for you. Okay, think about the different things that you see in there, so that way you add that value. Depending on how you're going to go about it and whatnot, it's always, I think one thing that always helps is demonstrating some sort of knowledge about whether it's the neighborhood, the facility, whatever it may be. Okay? Now, a little bit about condition of properties and whatnot. All right? You've got exterior condition, straightforward. You've got peeling paint, things like that, something that's going to have to be remedied. Interior. Interior, there's two facets there. When you're looking at a property and it's for sale to for a residential agent, or I'm sorry, for a buyer, is it upgraded? Is it upgraded? Is it painted? This, that, and the other. All right. There's also interior functionality that may be wrong with it. Okay, so think about it this way. A lot of people like the open floor plan these days. All right. So if you come in and you're walking right into a separating wall and whatnot, that might be something that's going to deter from a buyer. All right. So keep in mind that look on the pictures when you're going through. All right. Plumbing's a big one. All right. So let me talk plumbing, electric, AC. Real important things to consider. Okay. When you have a property and you're selling it, all right. Older properties were made with cast iron, with clay drains and whatnot. If you take somebody out to see a property, and I would say anything before the 80s and whatnot, the home inspector usually will not check the drains very well. You might want to have them, or suggest, pay for a plumber to come and take a camera down the drain and see that it's either been already replumbed, or he can tell you what kind of life is left on that plumbing. Okay, if it's back from the 50s, you have what's called galvanized plumbing. Okay, galvanized goes out as well. Those are the water lines coming in. Okay, so you have these different issues that can happen from there. All right, so plumbing is really important. Electric, we use a copper electric now. They used aluminum before. Aluminum, it's not terrible, but without having the proper little safety functions on there, there's a higher risk for fires that can be in there. Okay, so this goes back to, you look at that condition and everything, but it's about knowing these different things that can happen. If you remember lead-based paint, 78. Okay, here's the thing. Lead-based paint, and this is how you can get people off that really quick. You have to disclose. If the property was built before 78, you have to disclose, hey, it may or may not have lead-based paint in there. We don't really know. The thing about lead-based paint, though, realistically, as long as you're not digging into the walls and eating it, it's not going to have any effect on you. Okay? And you got to be able to talk to your clients about that. AC units, all right? Newer AC units, and now they've even got a new set of AC units that are now using some new stuff, no more Freon. Just educating yourself, knowing a little bit about that. If you see running into swamp coolers, if you haven't seen anything like that, swamp coolers used to sit up top, cool down below. They don't work real well in July and August because it's too humid. If you ever go into a house and it's got a new AC and you see an on-off switch, it looks like a shower handle inside a closet. That's usually the old on-off switch or shut-off valve for the old condenser that might have been up there for a swamp cooler. Okay, so be able to eye that and go, yeah, no, don't worry about that. That used to be for the old swamp cooler that's up top. They may have just left it in there. All right. Roof, roof's very simple. Just look at it. They'll have their inspection and everything. But keep an eye on it. If you see missing shingles and things like that, something that you know that's probably going to have to be replaced. All right? Appliances aren't too big because they can be swapped out and whatever. But does it have stainless steel? Is it whatever? Are there any common area costs that you may be looking at? So let's go back to if you are looking at an investment property for somebody that's got a few units. Let's say they have some shared common areas. Do I have landscaping that I got to take care of? Do I have irrigation that I got to take care of? Okay, different things to eyeball. That's landscaping and irrigation. If you have a laundry facility on site somewhere, you want to make sure that you look at that laundry facility and go, all right, do I need to do anything with it? Okay, your flooring, take a look at flooring and whatnot. Is it old? Does it have dual pane windows, etc.? Okay, all right, that's your condition and everything. Now, getting back to these investment properties and getting back to multifamilies, okay? You've got different things of maintenance and monthly costs that go into this, all right? Utilities, landscaping, leaks, broken fixtures, plumbing upkeep, AC upkeep, okay? These are all things that you have to look at when you're evaluating any kind of investment deals or anything, all right? Now, usually you always have some sort of management, all right? Management is what me and my guys do, all right? So we take care of the property on a monthly basis. So when you do have someone that buys a rental, you're going to have a property manager. The property manager is going to have a monthly fee. They may have a fee to lease it out, different things like that. So you'll have that into a monthly cost as you're building a budget, all right? Roof we went over, paint, storage, parking lot, laundry, and venue. All right, I want to kind of run through some of this stuff real quick. All right. Now, a penny saved is a penny earned, but a penny spent can bring in more dollars than saved pennies. And still, going back, and we're still just talking about the overall looking at a deal and whatnot. All right, trying to just kind of build that, get to where we're at. Now let's talk about what do we need to do. The first thing we need to do is make sure that your daily duties become your habits. All right. One thing that you have to do in order to find deals and everything like that is you need to get there. You need to make it a daily habit. All right. No matter how many phone calls you make, searches you do, everything else, you need to make that a daily habit. It has to be. You have to block off X amount of hours and go, I'm going to do this every day, every day, every day. Hit that goal. Hit that goal and give yourself that opportunity so that way you can become successful with it. Okay? As an agent, you're told to go to MLS, look at new listings, run searches that hit the market. What else should I be doing? Now, let me talk really quick about searches, okay? Because this one's good. When you start to do searches, people will ask you to go in and send them and set up searches and stuff like that. One thing that you can do for yourself, though, too, is have you looked at the hot sheets on the MLS? Okay, when you go into the MLS, you can find what's called the hot sheet, right? If you find that hot sheet and it's just off the menu, you can customize it. But basically what the hot sheet does is it'll give you everything that's coming on the market in the last 24 hours. You can then customize it. So that way it'll just hit you with everything in, let's say, Peoria for the last 24 hours. Or let's say it's just duplexes for the last 24 hours. Or let's say it's single family homes in Chandler for the last 24 hours. You can start to make those searches for yourself. So that way you can get used to seeing what's out there, all right? Another thing about the MLS, look for expired listings, all right? They tell you to look for those expired listings and stuff like that. There are opportunities there, okay? Also, and that's fine and all. I also like to do searches and look for stuff that has been on the market, especially in this day. Anything that's been on the market for over 120 days. Look at it. Find out what the problem is. Why is it not selling? Why is there an opportunity there, right? 120 days or more, something's going on, and there's an opportunity there. You just got to see, is it a good opportunity? Is there something there? Is there something that the agent is missing? Is the owner is missing? Is it something that the market is missing? Okay? Do those searches. Use that MLS for those things to find those different opportunities that may be out there. Okay? Oops. All right. So, talking about a little bit more about these again, that's the hot sheet. Old listing, expired listings, listings by specific brokers, okay? Get to know your market. Get to know who the players are out there depending on what you're trying to sell, right? There are certain people that list certain things. Start to get to know the names and whatnot. Start to be prepared to make those phone calls. Ask them, do you have anything new that's coming out? I have people that call me all the time. Hey, do you have anything new coming? Do you have any listings that are just about to come up? Do you have any? I specialize a lot in duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes. So people are calling me, do you have any fourplexes coming? Do you have any triplexes coming? Because they have investors that are looking to buy. Okay? So definitely look for those things. All right? When you are looking at those multiple dwellings and doing searches, you can search for fourplex, triplex, duplex. You can search for gross rents. You can search for expenses. You can look at all these different things, okay, to help you find out what you're looking for. Okay? Now, multi-property is another area where there's opportunity. Okay? A lot of people don't know about that. But if you look at the search called multi-property, because if you do a search in the MLS, it starts with residential, then it's residential rental, and so on and so on. There is a multi-property. What the multi-property is usually an investor that's trying to bundle all of them together, sell them all at once. Okay? It doesn't always have to happen like that. There may be something there, but you got to get in there and look. Okay? All these things take time. They take time out of your day, but it's time invested, because you constantly have to put that investment in you. And that starts with just this MLS searching. What am I looking for? What can I target? What can I expand on? Okay? Guys talked about it before, about expanding what I'm doing. This is part of expanding. It's starting to go, how do I make a bigger net to draw in more fish? Okay? How am I going to find a way to talk to more people? What am I going to do to see if I can find some deals? Okay? Like I said, the owner may think they need to sell it together. They may not have to. Who knows? But it's that, and then you add those long days on the market. People get they're real funny right now because they want to make X amount of dollars because they know that the market is just, out of control and it's going really well, right? But here's the thing. Things only sell for what the market will bear. All right? Basic supply and demand. If you hit your number and somebody's willing to buy it, then great, they buy it. But if your number is here, your number is 400,000 and nobody's making offers, it's too high. Sorry. End of story. It's too high. So here's the thing. As it sits here at 400,000, at a certain point, this buyer or this seller will eventually go, you know what, I'll take less. But sometimes you got to make the phone call. Their agent may not do it. Because one of the things that you're going to see, and no offense, with all due respect, there are just a lot of new agents in the market, and they don't know what they're doing right now. So you have this that goes on, and they're not telling their seller what they need to hear. Or it's an agent who's been around, they're tied to the seller. They don't have the guts to tell the seller, I'm sorry, it's just too high. You need to move it down. And maybe at that point, there's an opportunity to come in and go tell the agent, I got a buyer who's willing to buy right now, but it's at this price. Okay? It's something like that. Remember, it's always a negotiation in real estate. Nothing is ever. The sales price is never the actual price. It could be higher, it could be lower, but there's always an opportunity. The one thing that you never can lose on is just asking, making an offer. Worst case scenario, they say no. So what? But make the offer. You never know. Okay. All right. So now let me talk about wholesalers, because again, that intro is just to kind of go over a lot of different things that we do in the market and understand it and whatnot. But now we'll start talking about how we're going to find different ways. Wholesalers. All right. Have any of you gotten any wholesaler lists or anything? Okay. So what you want to do is you want to Google search a couple of wholesalers, Arizona, wholesalers, Phoenix. There's a couple guys that work or are licensed here. They're called Keegley. Look them up. Get on their list. They're going to start sending you deals, off-market deals. Okay. AZ Homes is another. I mean, there's a ton of them. And I have them in my email all the time. All you got to do is just start getting on their lists. Okay. They will start to send you these deals that are off-market. There's always some sort of spread that's built in there and whatnot, but it's an opportunity to start to look at what do they have coming. Start making a few phone calls to these guys. Call them, introduce yourself. Hey, I'm so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. I've got some investors that I'm working with. I'm always looking for more wholesale deals. Can I call you from time to time? A lot of times if you call them, a lot of times you can find stuff that they haven't even sent out yet that they have. That's how you get ahead of the game. That's how you get ahead of it, is start with the wholesalers, right? Another thing I'll tell you right now, they mentioned about working with loan officers and everything. That's great, and you should. You should try to find some loan officers and whatnot. Go into the banks. I know nobody really does this. Go into Chase Bank, go into Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whatever. Go talk to the loan officer. Ask them. Go to the branch manager. Hey, is your loan officer in? Can I get his card? Call him. Loan officers have so many, at banks have so many people that hit them up, and they're constantly looking for, they don't know anything. They just go to the bank. They don't know. There's so many people. We think in the business, because we're in this every day. We see, people. It seems like it should be real simple. People say, I know. Man, there are a lot of people that know a lot of different agents, but this time will not last. It won't be like this forever. There will be a time again where it's like people are, I'm looking for an agent. And even now, I find a lot of people who don't know an agent, loan officers at the banks, they have a high hit ratio because the customers are coming into them constantly. The bankers are feeding them, and guess what? They're always looking for agents, and these loan officers turn over all the time. Like if you ever notice, if you go into a bank, you will see the bankers turn over a lot. Loan officers turn over even more. Why do I know this? I used to work at Chase Bank for a year and a half. It was my vacation in between being a loan officer and having a real estate company in California, and then starting again here. I went to work as a banker for about a year and a half. It was the easiest job I ever had. Boring as hell. But people come in all the time. I need to talk to the loan officer. I need to buy some real estate. I didn't even, as a banker, I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any agents to refer them to. It's an easy source to just go in there, hit them. You've got professionals that are there. Go in, talk to them a little bit, maybe find out when their Monday meeting is and bring donuts for that. Easy little investment to find people to work for you, because that's a key. That's a big key in this business, is finding other professionals who have clients that they can't service. If I'm a loan officer, I don't have a real estate agent, a license. I can't sell real estate. I need somebody I can give it to. Most important thing as an agent, okay? I'll flip back to the other side. Most important thing, when you send somebody out to a vendor, make sure that vendor knows what they're talking about. Make sure they're good, okay? Send her to me as a property manager, believe me. I do it myself, my team. We do it one way, we do it the right way. We know what we're talking about. We're not going to poach your client from you. But with your every other vendor that you're dealing with, it's so important for your reputation to have vendors that know what they're doing. Same thing for you. Be that vendor. Be that vendor, and that's an easy one. The bankers are an easy one because they go through, they forget. Believe me, everybody that you will meet in this industry, it's short-term memory. Forget who. Oh man, I don't remember. But if you can remain and do that contact, little contact. And what does it cost you to go to the bank? Just go into your bank. Hey, I'm a real estate agent now. Okay, you drop a few cards. Do you have a board I can post it up on? A little something like that costs you nothing, but you can start to build that relationship with a couple of bankers. It's a great way to hit it. Okay, so it's wholesalers. All right. Another thing with wholesalers, when you find a deal, all right. Let's say your brother comes to you and he knows you got a license. He's going to let you go and represent him and whatnot. And now he comes to you for investment property. Okay. Ultimately, if you can find your brother a deal, let's say you go, hey, bro, I got you a deal. It's $30,000 below market value. Found through all my wholesalers. You got to close in 5 days, though. All right? Can you do that with a regular loan? Absolutely not. No conventional FHA, not going to happen. All right? There are hard money lenders out there, and the way these guys work is they close quickly. They can fund a lot of deals. A lot of times, when you go to buy a house, the first-time buyer, they may do FHA, they may do VA, they may do conventional, 5%, 3.5%, 0 down, right? When investors start to buy it, it's going to be 20% down. Well, a lot of times, hard money lenders may be willing to lend on less than 20% down. Now, the rate's going to be a little higher, but it allows you to capture that property and get the ball rolling, okay? So hard money lenders, Google a few of them. So hard money lenders, Arizona. Get on some of their lists. They're constantly sending emails. 8.9%. Yes, it's higher. It's absolutely higher than conventional. It's not the point. The whole point is the money is made when you buy. You tell them, bro, listen, you buy it, you put your 20% down, you're going to have it at 8.9%. If we can make it cash flow for 6 months, then all of a sudden you can refinance that property, drop the rate way down. But the most important thing is remember, you buy it for $30,000 below market value. There's your equity. That's the money that's made. Don't worry about the refinance costs. Don't worry about paying a higher rate right now. You bought it. The time will be there for you. Okay? But with these hard money lenders, all right, again, lower down payments and stuff, they're there for fix-up funds as well. So sometimes you may find the deal, all right, you find a deal. Again, going back to your brother, let's say now it's 60,000 below market value. It needs $20,000 worth of work. A lot of times the hard money lenders may be willing to lend you that extra money so you can fix it up too, okay? So keep that in mind. The reason I say this is get on there, talk to a few hard money lenders, ask them some questions. These guys want to lend you money. To you, you're a client. You're another vehicle for them. You're a vendor. You are a vendor. So you call them, ask for some time. Hey, can I buy you some coffee? Get some information. Now, here's where the rubber hits the road on these guys, all right? And this is where I've made a lot of money in the past. Returns and foreclosures, all right? This is what hard money lenders do. They lend that money, they then take the note on the property. And you know what happens every now and again? Somebody gets in there, they get in over their head, they lose the property. The hard money lender goes and forecloses, okay? If he goes and forecloses, remember, he's lent money on the property already, so he's already into it. He isn't so concerned with trying to get it, fix it, and sell it himself. He doesn't care. He just wants to get that into somebody else's hands. He can pick up another down payment from you on it, give you that opportunity, and you're off and running with it. Because the fix and flip that's not his money. His money is made on lending you the cash. As soon as he gets a return or foreclosure that he gets, he's now looking for somebody else to take it off his hands. Here's the deal. Once you get to learn these guys, I got a guy, I text him once every 3 weeks. Sam, you got anything for me? Yes or no? Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. And every time he gets them, there's money there. Sometimes it's not a deal I want. But if it is, I'll jump on it. Opportunity is there. And hopefully that's the thing that I'm sharing with you now is these are the different guys, the off-market guys, the wholesalers, the hard money lenders, the guys that you can go to that it costs you nothing to talk to. Just become their vendor. Guy that, hey, I'm just trying to sell it for you. I'm trying to make you money. Cool, awesome. They love that. Hey, this guy's going to help me sell it to some other investor. And that way you can have that in your back pocket and start to have that. Okay? Ask about the inventory. And then also ask them, do you have other investors that are looking to partner or that are looking for deals? Sometimes they have investors that they don't have deals for. Sometimes they'll just go, yeah, call this guy. Do you have somebody that's looking to partner up? Okay? Typically when you buy a deal, 20% down, right? You have people that don't have all the cash to do it. You need 2-3 people to get together and do it. If you can put them all together and mastermind it for them, all of a sudden you can go, I'll put it together for you. I'm not putting money in, but will you let me sell the house at the end? Okay? That's where again, just being a connector can get you an opportunity to get some deals here. All right? Craigslist isn't great anymore, but you know what? There's still some gold out there. Look on Craigslist. Look for stuff that's sale. There is, I can't tell you the amount of sellers that like to go out there and they don't see the value in the real estate agent until they go into a transaction, do something, and they get sued because they didn't have the disclosures and everything taken care of. Believe me, what you guys do, what we do, is extremely important. It's extremely important. But a lot of people, especially right now, they diminish our value because there's so many of us. Okay, there's a glut of realtors out there, so they diminish the value. They don't think, oh, well, I don't know, and I've got people that undercut. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. The value that we have is there, and you do provide a very good service. So, with that being said, there are sellers that sell crap on Craigslist. All right? Now, they're going to price it however they price it, whatever. Look at the prices. Spend 5-10 minutes. Anything look good there on Craigslist? As you start to look at the MLS daily, you start to know what the price is of everything. You'll know. Am I looking at good deals or I'm looking at garbage or whatnot? If it looks like it's maybe something good there, hey, it's worth the email, worth the call. Send them a call. Hey, I know it's been sitting there for a while. You interested in selling for this price? Do you have anybody that's representative? Or hey, do you mind if I take this and market this to a few people? I'm not going to charge you a sales commission, but can I market it to a few people? Anything to start the dialogue. Okay, that's Craigslist. Take a look at that. All right, Google and Yahoo. We talked about this again. Here's some other things to wholesale. Again, wholesale properties. FSBO. Do you guys know what a FSBO is? Yeah, for sale by owner. Yeah. Okay. So again, going back to what they're saying on Craigslist, Yahoo, FSBO these things and see what you can find out there. Houses for sale, deals on homes, lease to own. Okay. Different things that you can do. I'll stop there for a second. You guys got any questions?
No.
Anything that comes to the top of your mind right now? No? Where do you guys, any places in Phoenix particularly that you've been looking or that you deal with?
I've pretty much been all over. I just moved here from North Carolina and I'm buying a house in Surprise.
Awesome, man. Where in Surprise?
North Surprise off of Grand and 163rd.
Okay.
Up there where I got a 1 acre lot.
Oh, that's awesome.
And right near state trust land where I can go off-roading and stuff. So
Beautiful.
I'm excited about that. But I'm also a real estate appraiser.
Oh, wow.
So my location was wide open. I could live anywhere. So I was looking in Chandler. I was looking in Scottsdale. I was looking, So it actually made it more difficult because,
Did you get analysis paralysis to a certain extent?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is, Kevin?
Yes, it's just a lot of overwhelming,
Yeah.
a lot of options.
Yeah. And you're gonna find that too as an agent. When you start to talk to some people just can't pull the trigger. They call it analysis paralysis because they're over-analyzing the deal to hell.
Yeah.
All right. Sometimes you have to just simplify it. You got to try to pare it down, simplify it, make it as simple as possible. It just really depends, man. You gotta kind of mirror your client as much as possible. You're gonna also probably find that you're gonna probably for the most part work with people in your age range. That's generally how it goes. Plus or minus 10 years. That's how people relate and whatnot. Until you get your feet like completely wet and whatnot, you're on the ground, and then all of a sudden, it becomes in somewhat it's a popularity contest. In another ways, the one thing that can never be disputed is knowledge. That's what I sell off of. Kind of like what Carl says. I educate. I talk to people a lot about what I do. I get them excited on making money. That's one thing that's kind of universal for everybody. Everybody likes to make money. Everybody wants to make more money. Everybody wants to be a flipper. Everybody wants to be a flipper. And the reason being is because all of the money that's been made on flipping and whatnot, not the best time to flip right now. Margins are very slim because even people that are selling their houses know that they have some value in it and whatnot. So they're like, well, I'll put it out there, and you get bidders that bid the price up. All right. So that's not the best way to do it. It'll change again. There'll be another time where it's going to be great to flip, but you got to have the margins. You got to have everything lined up to do that. It is generally a good time to buy investment property if the numbers make sense. Okay. One of the things that I didn't talk about that I want to touch on is if and when the time comes that you start to talk to people about investment property, always advise them be cash flow positive. Okay? If you're cash flow negative, boy, you better have a really good job. You better be set because when the ish hits the fan, you're going to have to feed the kitty month after month after month. Okay? In another class, I talk about what's called the monthly net. It means how much do you have to cover every month between mortgage, maintenance, everything else. Can you cover that monthly net? When you talk to people about rental properties, tell them, make sure you can cover the monthly net. Make sure you can make more money in rents than you're paying out. Because if that's not the case, you're going to probably be in trouble. Okay? But there are deals out there. And that's the whole art of trying to find the deals, is looking through and sifting through all the stuff that's out there. Okay? Because there are a lot of people that are trying to sell way above market value. And that's where you just got to kind of go through it. See, what can I find? What makes sense? All right? Does the price work for my buyer, my consumer? Okay? Are you, both you guys have used the mortgage calculator or anything like that? No? If you haven't, the easiest one to get, the Zillow mortgage calculator. You put in purchase price, down payment, taxes, insurance, and it'll spit out a monthly payment for you.
Right.
Okay? Get used to doing that. You've got to be able to calculate or be in the ballpark, or have a loan officer ready to go, somebody that you're confident in that can give somebody a price quote right away. you're not supposed to quote prices, but what I'm saying is, you got to have an idea. You're going to be in this range, okay? Because I mean, if you're trying to sell somebody a $100,000 house and they can't afford a $3,500 payment, then it doesn't make sense for them. You got to go, hey, what kind of payment are you looking for? What can we get you pre-qualified for, right? And you want to get that loan officer to get them pre-qualified, but at the same time, sometimes it doesn't work like that. Sometimes it's, I just got to find out what can I sell you right now, okay? Because at a certain point, you can only sell them what they can afford. If they can't afford it, then you're just kind of spinning your wheels, all right? So get to learn that mortgage calculator, all right? Okay, a little bit about me. I won't take too much time on this. I'll go into a few other things after this. But my company is My Rental Superstore. Again, we do property management. We're 8% of the monthly gross. You're going to see different things out there for property management. Usually it's between 8 and 10% for full property management. You'll see people with flat fees and things like that. But what I do is I do it very simple. It's 8% and there's no other fees that go with it. So it's very transparent for the landlords. The listing fee is 4% of a 12-month gross. So when an agent goes out there and lists it, they're gonna charge you a little fee on top for showing it, tending it, putting the lockbox, all that other stuff and whatnot. Really doing the renting out, and that's where it's really important when you are looking for tenants. What we do is we look into their background, we look into employment, we look into rental history, everything like that. So we try to find a good renter for our people. We have online portals, 24-hour access to financials. We do direct deposits, do paperless documents to send things out and everything that's needed for when your client needs to have a property management group. Okay, that's us. But here's the thing for you guys though. We are there as agent resources, okay? Sometimes I'll have agents that need help with comparables. Just give me a call, shoot me an email. I'll help you with comparables, especially if it's something weird. All right, no problem with that. And letting you know market analysis, okay? If you're new to the area, Ronnie, believe me, I've been all over town. I've got rentals in South Phoenix. I got rentals in Glendale. We got them in Scottsdale, Chandler, all over the place. So when you do see something and you're like, I don't know about this neighborhood, hey, give me a call. I'll tell you what it is, and we can have an off-the-record conversation too about it. Like, hey, what do I see?
So are your rentals, when you market them, or do you put them on the MLS?
Yeah, we put them out on the MLS, so it's out there. And I mean, we just put 3 on this week, and I mean, we put them on, and we had calls within an hour. The rentals it's all about, do we price them correctly? Okay. I always go with my owners, and I tell them, all right, this is my rental range. This is a high. This is a low. This is where I think it's going to go. And then and they tell us, because every owner's different. Some are like, I want to shoot for the stars. I want to try to get this much out of it. And we're like, okay, well maybe. Sometimes we're surprised. Sometimes we put it out there, and it's like we're getting calls on it. And it's like unbelievable. Yeah. Other times it sits. If it sits, it's overpriced, right? But we put it out there, and then there's other agents that will come and show it and stuff like that. If you do get clients that are asking for rentals, take them. If you're not busy with sales, take and show some renters. It doesn't pay a lot, but it's a great opportunity to get out there, and especially if you do a showing tour, go show somebody a rental. Show them 4 or 5 rentals or whatnot. It's gonna cost you a little gas and whatnot, but it really helps you, kind of cut your teeth on doing showings. So that way, when it's time to, hey, now there's 3% sales on the line. I've done this a few times. I know what I'm doing, and I can get out there and I can do my showings and not have any kind of hiccups and whatnot. And there are going to be hiccups, man. There are going to be times where you're going to go and do a showing. You're going to go put your key up to the lockbox. It's going to open. The key's going to be gone. You're going to have times where the doors don't lock. You're like, what is going on? And it's crazy. Stuff's going to happen. Way easier to have it happen the first couple times on a rental showing, because rental showing, whatever. You lose a rental commission. You're going to lose a couple $100. You lose a 3% because you did something in front of a client. That sucks. That hurts, especially if it's a $300,000 sale. That's $9,000. Okay, so it's important to do stuff like that. I got agents come in and whatnot, and I tell them, I get it. After a while, I didn't do rentals, and I don't even show rentals. Like as a broker, I don't have time for it. As my guys who work for me as property managers, we don't have time to show other people's rentals. But there are a lot of people that do. And like I said, it's a great opportunity to start to build the database. The guy that you were talking about before, it's the database. You start to build that. You start to remember that you have to touch up. You have to touch up with people constantly. So that's what I'm talking about. Your wholesalers, your bank reps, your hard money lenders, if you know any attorneys, if you know any insurance guys, any guys in insurance, ask them, hey, you got anybody looking for real estate? Talk to them. Stay in front of those guys. They always have clients coming in. Just sit down and use your head. Go, okay, who do people go to on a monthly, yearly, annual basis and whatnot? Who do they talk? Who do they trust? My attorney, my tax professional, my insurance guy, my loan agent, my banker. Those guys are all professionals. Those are actually easier to sell than actual clients. If you can get referrals from these guys, it just makes it so much easier for you to find them. Okay, because that's how you open that bucket up and go, okay, I'm going to go after these guys and see that. If you're out in Surprise, my mom was up there in Sun City Grand. Mm-hmm. They got a ton of stuff going on over there.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, great opportunity to meet some people there. They've got so much going on there. It's just an opportunity. Yeah. Different areas. And then when spring training comes around, they have all kinds of events. Very very community oriented out there. Yeah. So it's just about doing that. But again, for me, it's always been the investment side and whatnot. And that's what I really bring in. That's where I've gone. And that's what I can tell you most of all is those are the guys, and they're direct to the deals, especially the hard money lenders and the wholesalers. I mean, they're direct to the deals, and you will find these guys, and they will turn you on to other guys, and next thing you know, you'll be on this guy's list and that guy's list, and people are going to start finding you, going like, you sell wholesale? Yes, I do. Put me on your list. And that's how you start to get that, and you're always staying that pulse. If you can give yourself an hour, 1 hour daily, looking through MLS, Google, looking through your email, and once you get on all of their lists and whatnot, just doing a little bit of evaluation, doing some of that an hour a day, you are going to find some deals. The stuff is going to be there. For you especially, I would go into the bank, just talk to a couple of bankers, hand out some cards, just start to get out there something that's very easy face-to-face, and then get a number and text. A little text, real simple. For you, hand-to-hand combat, just get out there, same thing, especially if you're doing appraisal.
Yep.
And there's a lot of different people that you run into and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and network with other agents and whatnot. Are you guys on either teams or anything like that?
No.
I joined BTG.
Okay, cool. It's a good way to kind of get the ball rolling. But I would be in there like daily, just trying to absorb as much information as you can from the other agents. Because again, man, we're all a bunch of pontificating fools that love to talk, and we love to talk about ourselves and real estate and tell you how great we are and everything. One thing we do though, in doing all that, is we do give out a lot of nuggets to anybody who will listen. All you do is ask a few questions. And we'll start to tell you everything we know, because it's what we love to do.
Right.
Agents love to talk about themselves. We love to talk real estate. We love to tell you what we're doing. Yeah, but a lot of times it's BS and whatnot. But a lot of times there is gold in there that you can find. So if you guys do that, just every day, keep hitting it. That money's going to be there. That's what I can tell you guys. I'm about out of time. Anything else you can think of right now?
No,
No?
not really.
Okay. I'll give you guys one of my cards. Again, if you come up with anything, please don't hesitate to call. More than anything, I'm just a resource, man.
All right.
I'm here to help out in any way I can.
I appreciate
So
that.
don't hesitate. Reach out.
Where are you located?
I'll do what I can. I have an office at the top of the stairs.
Oh, you're here.
Yeah, but I'm only here usually about 1 day a week, because our main office is off of Roosevelt and Grand downtown.
All right.
So yeah, because I got guys that do East Valley and West Valley, it's like our nerve center right there, center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I try to pop in here at least once a week, if not more. But yeah, you can always get a hold of me through email, phone call, text. I'm one of the agents that usually will pick up his phone all the time. Yep. Because
I used to say that, and I even had it on my appraisal website.
Yeah.
I answer the phone because, people are so tired. But now, with all these friggin' robocalls,
I know.
I can't. It's just,
Yeah.
it's like, I look at it and it's like,
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of those.
yeah, such a waste.
Yeah, it sucks. I get a lot of I get a lot of people that are calling for help and whatnot. So I don't know everybody's numbers. So I just try to answer as much as I can.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Answer your phone, right?
Yes.
As much as you can.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for
All right,
staying.
Jason.
All right.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you guys. Good luck out there. All right.
Okay.
I appreciate the
Hey,
class.
anytime.
Have a good one.
Hey, take care.